the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. This also goes for every Trinbagonian who want to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something, instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show.
Yes, indeed. And now more than ever, we must show our love for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We need to build this place. We need to transform this place. We need to make it better, not just for us, but for the next generation and the next generation. I want to welcome you to the hub. Again, we have a unique opportunity in time to talk using social media and the radio to connect. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. And I want to start off tonight by saying there seems to be this belief that politics is all about optics, but it's more than that. So on the weekend, the NDC had the women's convention, women's arm convention, and the NNP had a similar thing. But you had the NNP being streamed live on one or two platforms, paid or not, right? Mainstream media carried them because what they're seeking to do is to create this idea that they're organized, to create this idea that they have a group of people committed to them. And they have, invested a lot in that, knowing, in the last week or two or three or four, all we hear is about resignation and resignation and resignation. But both political parties had a convention. And I am saying, if the media was fair, they would cover both events. But again, we see the bias. Mainstream media is never for the NDC. Mainstream media will always be against the NDC. In the last election was a case in point. We saw that the mainstream media thinking NNP was going to win, and they thrive and did well business-wise as a media outfit under NNP for a lot of years. And they towed the line nicely. So when the election time came around, there was this heightened biasness when it comes to coverage for the NDC. The NDC wasn't getting full coverage of what they were doing. But the NNP, they were getting full coverage. Every event they had, they were getting full coverage where that is concerned. So that never changed. Never. So you would always find the coverage being biased. They would never give NDC equal coverage as the NNP. Don't matter, the NNP is not doing well politically. They don't care. They're still loyal. Mainstream media is still loyal to the NNP. And both parties sent out information about the events. Both parties. So it's not that you have to invite the media. The media, they were aware of both events. And both events should be covered. This is two mainstream parties. These are national events. Right? So I am saying there should be total coverage of both events. But the NDC must make mainstream media know that they're in charge, that they're the government. And the government of the day with the governing party must be given some level of respect in this country. You see, during the NNP time, you had a de facto leader, a heavy-handed leader who would call these people and they would tremble because they were fearful of that individual. But anytime you have a kind of system where these people believe that you're not heavy-handed, then they just do anything. All right? So we have to make them know through action who is in charge. And I believe in that. Because Grenadians still love a person who would put down their feet and give orders. All right? So I am saying mainstream media, they need to do better than this. That is why more and more of those media outfits are losing ratings, are losing viewers, and losing listeners because they're too biased. And their biasness is obvious. You tried it during the election. Unfair coverage. You were more on NNP side than anything else. NNP lost, even if you were pushing them, even if you were promoting them, even if you were highlighting them, even if you were bringing them live for nearly all the events. They still lost. It says something. The Grenadian people do not rely on mainstream media like before. 60, 70, 80% of the people who consume information, they get it on social media. They get it on Facebook. They get it on Instagram. They get it on X. They get it on social media. So mainstream media will only appeal to those who still rely on television news, those who may not be tech savvy enough to navigate the softwares and apps and so on the phone or the iPad or so. I'm saying they were insignificant in the lead up to the election and during the election, mainstream media. And today, they're pretty much the same. They're fighting for relevance. But their coverage still remains biased towards NDC. They will always cover NNP nonsense. They love that. They have always been loyal to the NNP. So I am saying again, we have to understand what is at stake. These outfits became loyal to NNP because of certain things. And we have to understand those certain things. Because we are in government. We are in government. All right? So both parties had women's arm events on the weekend. And both parties had good showing, because it's easy to mobilize 500 women to any political event. You have more women supporting political parties than men. More women vote than men. The population of women, in my view, is more than men. So it's not hard to mobilize and organize a certain amount of people to come to a particular space. That's not hard. Both political parties, they have a good 25,000 people following them and supporting them. So it's not difficult to do that. But I'm saying the media, yes, we know you're in the thing for money, to make money, and it could be that you were paid to come and bring this live and bring that live. We're not saying no. But I'm saying if you are fair, there will be fair coverage across the board for both events. Also, there is an election in the Public Workers Union. And the two people who are going up to be president is Daisy Hazard and Fimba Thomas, as far as I know. MTV did a piece, right? They did a piece, and the person who they featured was Daisy Hazard. And I asked myself, but why not also seek to hear from the person who is contending, who is going after the said position too? I saw it somewhere, right? I wish I can play that for you. I actually saw it and I said, but why would you feature only one person in the lot? Is it intentional? Was it a strategic move, right, to highlight her and not the other individual? Are you doing so because you want a particular person to win? What is your motive? What is your agenda? Right? What is your agenda? That was my question, and I think I have it somewhere here. Because I was like, okay, why would you just feature one person? Why not try to get the other person?
Well, I have had the pleasure of serving with President Brother Brian Grimes for 2 terms, for almost 4 years. It has indeed been a pleasure. It has indeed been a learning curve, because it's one thing to understand organizations and organizational principles, but to really understand the business of trade unionism, and to helm and head an organization such as this. So the last 6 years has been my incubation into trade unionism and the labor movement, and to understanding the unique and inherent strengths and needs of the public service and the members which we serve.
That was Public Relations Officer at the Public Workers Union, Daisy Hazard. 7 positions are up for election, including first and second vice president. Each category has multiple contenders, including a candidate from Carriacou. Hazard views the high level of interest from members in the union's leadership as a positive sign for the organization.
Of course, there are members who are part of my slate, part of my team, that I've asked and encouraged to run for executive position. Many of them are coming from the present executive, and I look forward to serving with those members. So, of course, I pray that they're successful. But any member who our membership chooses in any executive position, when I become president, I will also look forward to working and serving together with them.
She also expressed confidence.
Was the piece MTV did. But I am saying, MTV, from time to time, they would do a good news item. But it is not balanced to have Daisy speaking there as a contender. She's contending. She's not just the public relations officer of the Public Workers Union. She's contending. So why not have Fimba Thomas also interviewed to talk about his slate? She has a slate. He has a slate. So again, mainstream media, you can see the bias, the biasness. I am saying Daisy Hazard slate for the Public Workers Union, and I don't really care who wins, because this union in itself is not powerful, again, because you don't have a prime minister or a government who is anti-worker, who always like to pick some fight or so. You have a government who like workers, who love workers. So you don't need anybody who is militant, who's aggressive, who is arrogant, who wants to pick a fight every Monday morning with government. You don't need that there. You need somebody who can work along with government to get the results that you're looking for. You don't have to be a supporter of the government, but you can work along with them to get the results that the workers desire. But I'm saying they should have given Fimba Thomas also the opportunity to be interviewed and to talk about his slate. But no. You see a piece done, and Daisy Hazard, man, she loves that. She loves that. But the people who are running on her slate, they are people who were there before. Over and over again, they were there. And you ask yourself, why not something new? Or why not move into a different direction? Right? This woman is as bad, in my belief, as Brian Grimes for the Public Workers Union. 6,500. They're pretty much the same, in my belief. She's not going to do anything better for the Public Workers Union. No. But I don't really care who wins and how that election goes. I don't care about that. Because you see, the workers, they already won. If it was Keith Mitchell and the NNP in power, then it would have been a different ball game. You would need somebody militant. You would need somebody who willing to fight and go on the streets and march and protest and all that kind of stupidness. Because the NNP, they have always been that kind of organization and government. Controversial. Bacchanalish. Looking for some kind of bacchanal, some kind of confrontation with the unions. But the NDC is different. The NDC is for workers. They want workers, right, to be happy. They want workers to be in a better position. And that is important, very important. So look at the kind of achievements that they have realized under the NDC. And it's not because you had Brian Grimes there or the others there. No. The NDC paid pension and gratuity, and they could have cared less of who was president of any of the unions. The NDC decided to pay the pension, cost it what it may. There was no influence or no effort that was required from Brian Grimes or any of the presidents of the other unions. No. Then you had the bi-monthly salary payment. There was no input or any extra effort from Brian Grimes or any of the other union leaders. The government decided this is what we're going to do. The minimum wage, same thing. The government decided we are going to increase the minimum wage after consulting with the Grenadian people and the workers. It had nothing to do with any union putting forward something and fighting for something. No. The new pension, for example, for contract workers and so on, that some of the unions do not support. But that went through. Like it or not, the unions didn't have anything to do with it. They were, nearly all of them came out having concerns and opposing this and opposing that. But the pension for contract workers, they're in place. Then you look at the regularization of workers. That has nothing to do with any union leader, any person fighting for anything, the government going ahead and do their stuff, right? The only thing that the union was involved in was the increase in salaries, the negotiation. But because they were doing a good government, a worker-friendly government, they got so much out of that negotiation. So because of NDC being in power, you don't need a leader of a union who is militant, who is arrogant, who is aggressive, who is confrontational, who is bacchanalish. You don't need that. Because this government is willing to work with the unions, work with the workers to make their life better, to improve their lives. And that's the difference. So I am saying, I don't care who wins or who loses. I'm not campaigning for anybody. I am not campaigning for any one of the candidates. Because the Public Workers Union election, that's a little thing. That's insignificant and irrelevant to me. Whoever emerges as the president of that union, you have a government that's helping workers, making workers' life easier and better. So you have not much that you can really do. Because if any one of these people, like Brian Grimes, the guy lost every standing within the union, in my belief. He couldn't even call up protests. He couldn't marshal the troops, the members, to go out and protest for anything. And he and Daisy Hazard, they're pretty much the same, 6,500. The same, right? But I'm saying this to say, folks, MTV should have given both, right, both candidates a fair chance to be heard, so interview both of them. I see there are some NNP pundits, surrogates, supporters of the NNP posting and promoting certain people, right? I see an individual pushing Daisy Hazard. Then I see some NDC people pushing Fimba Thomas. Don't be fooled with all of this. And do not get this whole small union election into this whole political thing, NDC versus NNP, and that kind of nonsense. Because it's not. The Public Workers Union, they were, beaten down, so to speak, under the NNP administration. So they lost all credibility. They lost relevance. They are powerless because most of the contract workers are actually Public Workers Union people. It's not that they were representing them then, but they were collecting money, right? So don't get yourself all entangled with this melee and back and forth. I'm not campaigning for any of these people, right? I wish them all the best. Whoever wins, who cares? Right? You have a government who loves the people, the workers of this country. And it makes life easier for you as a worker. If you were dealing with Keith Mitchell and the NNP, then it would have been a different ball game. Totally different ball game. But I thought I should say that. The biasness is obvious on the part of the media in this country. Very obvious. Why? I don't know. Could be that they were missing, or let's say they're missing what they used to get on the NNP. Maybe it's no longer coming their way. So they toe in a certain line. But people are observing it, people are realizing it. So it is important to be fair and balanced, because that is what you say you are. It's not like me. My podcast is pro-government. My podcast is all about government and NDC and moving Grenada forward. So it's known. But you say that you're fair and balanced, but your news items, they're leaning on one side. But folks, Anthony Boswin answered those NNP pundits and zygote sycophants and naysayers, and I thought it was a brilliant response regarding the pronouncement made by the Honorable Dennis Cornwall.
Former political figure and local economist Anthony Boswin has responded to Finance Minister Honorable Dennis Cornwall's announcement on Tuesday that the government plans to borrow over $700 million to fund the 2025 budget. Cornwall explained that the borrowing is necessary to support upcoming development projects and that the government will increase its use of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange ECSE by auctioning more treasury bills. Boswin described the move as a common practice and commended the government's decision, emphasizing the importance of funding critical development and infrastructure initiatives.
First of all, I applaud the government on this bold initiative, and I will tell you why. In any budget, the first thing we have to be concerned about is the government current operations. Yeah, if the government is generating what they call a current surplus, that is to say, its current revenue is in excess of current expenditure, that is good. If it is in the other way around, I would say, hey, we're heading in the wrong direction. On the capital side, the public sector investment program is what drives economic growth and development in any country. You look at China, you look at any country that has developed, and you will see that a robust public sector investment program is key. When you look at Grenada right now, the last budget, $400 million, that is chicken feed in order to bring the infrastructure in Grenada up to a standard where we can say, well, yes, we could keep it or other regional countries.
While the announcement has sparked questions and concerns, Boswin believes the only concern lies in the terms and conditions of the borrowing.
Yeah? So the government going out to borrow $700 million. The first thing I would like to know before I could give a final comment on what terms and conditions, and that is what we have to look at. Is the government borrowing these funds on highly concessionary terms? If that is the case, this is good, and I wish they could borrow even more. Yeah, because you look around, our infrastructure is in a dilapidated state. You look at our city fences, you look at the Caranage, you look at so many areas that need significant development. Why are we making a fuss about government's desire to develop? If you are concerned about the government's current spending, I will be with you. But when it comes to the capital expenditure, that is the public sector investment program, which is to drive economic growth, both in the public sector and the private sector, I welcome the government decision to borrow once it is on highly concessionary terms.
Cornwall made the announcement after revealing the date for the reading of the 2025 budget will be pushed back from December 2024 to March 7th, 2025, primarily due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
Right, so folks, Anthony Boswin, his response was, on point. He hit the nail on the head. And it's kind of common sense. But, the NNP supporters and some of them who believe that they have more sense than others, they started saying all kind of stuff. They post all kind of stuff. Many of the things that they post, they were baseless. But Anthony Boswin, who served as a member of parliament under the NNP and a minister of finance under the NNP, came forward and said, hey, that's a good move by government because you see, it's capital projects. These are major projects to create jobs and opportunities for people and, bring some buoyancy in the economy. Like the modern teaching hospital facility. They would need up to $540 million to undertake such a massive infrastructure project. They have to borrow. It's simple like that. They would not take the money that they have in the coffers to spend that on these projects. No, they're going to borrow at concessionary rates.
Welcome to Grenada, the Spice Island of the Caribbean. known for its breathtaking beauty, vibrant culture, and now a beacon of medical excellence and innovation. The Government of Grenada proudly presents the new Hopevale Climate Smart Medical City. Located in the parish of St. David, this 84-acre medical city is set to revolutionize healthcare, education, and tourism, not just in Grenada, but across the OECS. At the core of this transformation is the new state-of-the-art Smart Research Hospital. Designed with patient-centered care and community engagement in mind, it will provide value-based specialist care, innovation healthcare solutions, industry-leading medical training, and cutting-edge research. From advanced medical oncology and reconstructive plastic surgery to physical therapy, fertility treatment, stem cell therapy, and more, the medical complex and annex will offer a wide range of specialized services, ensuring comprehensive care for all. Adjacent to the hospital, a large medical complex will house private sector and grant-funded services, including a biotech incubator and accelerator, fostering medical and technological advancements. The complex also conveniently features a 4-star luxury hotel, providing comfortable accommodations for recuperating patients, individuals receiving outpatient care, family members and visitors alike. Staff and student accommodations will be located within the medical city, providing easy commutes and an elevated team member experience. With dedicated retirement homes alongside beautiful private residences for doctors, hospital executives, and returning nationals, the complex ensures a holistic community-centered environment for all. Sustainability is at the forefront, with a solar plant providing renewable energy and supporting Grenada's commitment to eco-friendly initiatives. A vibrant array of restaurants, shops, and entertainment facilities, along with fitness and wellness centers, will create a lively and engaging community atmosphere. Beautifully manicured parks, walking, running, and biking trails will offer serene spaces for relaxation and recreation, enhancing the well-being of residents, patients, and visitors alike. Seamlessly connected by a well-designed road network and ample parking ensures easy access to all facilities, providing an efficient experience for everyone. The Hopevale Medical City will be a cornerstone of Grenada's medical and retirement tourism industries, attracting individuals worldwide with its promise of high quality in an environment unmatched in beauty and tranquility. Located just 20 minutes from the capital, St. George, and the airport, Grenada offers an English-speaking, safe, and scenic Caribbean destination conveniently accessible from North America, Europe, and the Latin American region. The Hopevale Climate Smart Medical City is not just a project, it is a vision for the future, a commitment of excellence to the people of Grenada, a beacon of hope for generations to come as we move Grenada forward.
Yes, so that's one of the capital projects to be undertaken. So they have to find the money for I don't know, sometimes right. So they have to find let me make sure, I don't know, the audio got disconnected here with the audio. I don't know what's going on with the audio here. Something dramatic happened a while ago. All right, something dramatic happened a while ago. Yeah, I hope the audio is back. It went off for a moment. If it's back, you can let me know if it's back because I did something magical a while ago. With the audio, something is happening strangely with the audio tonight. All right. So it goes, it comes, it goes, it comes. What is happening there? All right. So I'm saying it is important to understand that the budget will have in it a number of capital projects, schools, roads, hospital, police stations, that kind of thing, bridges. And so they will be reading that out, saying these are the projects we will embark upon in 2025. And there will be a cost to it. The government will not take their surplus or the revenue, that the money that they have, and just build those stuff. They will borrow at concessionary rates, build those stuff, and pay back over a period of time. In some cases, you have 10 years grace before you start paying. Right? So I'm saying it's a good move by government to go that particular route. All governments went that route before. NNP, NDC, all governments. But the NNP is desperate and they want to be relevant. That is why they clinging on to straw. They grabbing at anything at this point in time. So again, I want to thank Anthony Boswin there. I think he explained the thing clearly in a very, very simple way. So thumbs up to you there. I want to say to the NDC supporters and the folks who are front and center of the NDC, the delegates, the executive arm of the NDC. I realize that there are certain elements within the media and elsewhere who believe that they should control the agenda of the upcoming convention of the NDC. Remember, the NDC is not NNP. The NDC is organized. The NDC knows what they want. All right? They have a plan. And they're executing that plan. You may not like this individual, you may not like the other. But at the end of the day, the party is strong, united, and focused. So there are certain elements within the media agree every time to everything that you say. All right? But I am saying, folks, it is clear they want to control the narrative and they want to make people believe that the NNP is similar to NDC. But that's not the case. All right? And in organizing things in a very orderly fashion. And whoever the NDC puts up for any position, it must be final. All right? It's so important because the NDC is organized. The NDC is united. If the NDC puts up Larry Barry, for example, to be the next general secretary, we should support that person. If they put up another person and Larry Barry is no longer there, or he's there, then you vote. That's what it is. Because see, the NDC is an organized party. It's different. This NDC is organized, but whoever the NDC determines going to be there. So let no one tell you that Larry Barry shouldn't have his name up as the general secretary or go in of vying for the position of General Secretary. Nobody shouldn't tell you that. He has a right to. And that is why the NDC is a very democratic organization, unlike the NNP. If Orlando Romain, for example, name is up as PRO, and you have other people who want to vie, nothing is wrong with that. But let nobody tell you that he should not be on the list. Because you see, some people believe that PR is what used to take place 10 years ago and 15 years ago. You always have to see the person saying X or saying Y. But the amount of work that the person might be engaged in PR-wise on social media, videography, audio, shaping the narrative, right? And making sure that stuff is out there. You may not know that, but you want to, because you're accustomed with the old time days, you want to see the person. Always see the person. So I am saying, I love how the NDC is operating. Democratic, free, fair elections, unlike the NNP, with all the undemocratic processes as alleged, and back and forth and back and forth. So I am saying, because you see, the NDC is united, the NDC is organized, the NDC is stable. Whoever goes up as or vying for any position, they would get a chance to be nominated, to be voted. It would be a nice, smooth process. And I think it is what NDC stands for: democracy, giving people a chance to enter their names, and whoever wins, they become the PRO or the public relations officer, the chairman or the general secretary or whatever. All right? That is not how the NNP operates, but the NDC is different. But I'm saying to the people who believe that they can influence what happens in the NDC, joke you're making. You can't influence what happens in the NDC. The NDC is united. The NDC is focused. The NDC is doing what must be done. Right? And I love it. I know, so I can speak to you. All right? No one is perfect. But the NDC team, the executive, look, I don't always agree with Larry Barry, but he's doing a fantastic job. He's doing a wonderful job. Right? I don't agree every time with Orlando, my good pal, but he's doing a fantastic job because I know they're doing a wonderful job. So whoever is out there trying to influence, you would not succeed. This is not the NNP. It's a democratic process. Whoever goes up to be whatever come March the 2nd, it will be an open and free and transparent process. All right? And PR is no longer somebody coming in your face and talking. PR is more than that. PR is about making sure that your presence is felt as a party on social media. Yes, mainstream media, they need to be there too. But the greater population live on social media. All right? But the NDC is united. The NDC is focused. The NDC is charting the way forward. And we will support whoever put forward their name and whoever wins any position within the executive. That's how the NDC operates democratically. NDC is organized. NDC is united. NDC is focused. So there are people out there, I can tell you, I know, who believe that they can influence the outcome of these things, but you're not going to succeed. This is not NNP. NDC, this is a different NDC. All right? It will be a democratic process. Whoever is on the ballot going for any position, they will get free opportunity to vie for the position. And whoever wins, we, the NDC supporters, we, the pro-government supporters, we, the Deaconites, will support whoever emerge as the winner for any of the contest come March the 2nd. NDC is different. This NDC is different. All right? So let me just give you a little piece of positive news. I think it's important to give you a little piece of positive news. Karaku.
Brothers and sisters, this is a beautiful day. A day of hope, renewal, and progress. Our government proudly hands over 3 well-furnished Build Back Better homes.
Almighty and ever-living God, we give you thanks to bless all those who have taken part in making sure that houses are being rebuilt. We ask you to continue even blessing the work that is still underway to make sure that Kariakou, as resilient as it is being built back. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Your minister is very passionate about getting Kariakou back to normalcy. Sometimes he pushes and he pushes real hard. As a ministry based on resources and staffing, I think we are punching way above our weight.
I'm happy that we recognize the value that Grenlec played in the restoration efforts. And we want to thank you for the support. It was not easy, as you can imagine. Everybody wants to get a pour at the same time, and it was just not practical. So you may ask, what are we providing? We are providing bath and toilet supplies, kitchen utensils, beds, mattresses, even first aid kits. When you get inside, you will have appreciation for all the things.
I really want to commend the resilience of all Karakoonians and Petite Martiniquans in the passage of Hurricane Beryl. This morning, the home here is going to represent the resilience and the importance of the enhancements that we will undertake over the next few years going forward and beyond to really get Karakou and Petite Martinique its rightful place in the globe.
I'll start off by saying how grateful I am to the Almighty God. Had it not been for God, I don't know where I would have been. One of the first people that the Prime Minister visited when he landed in Karakou was this place. And he had to hold back his tears. And I'm happy that 7 months later, we're now handing over a brand new, Build Back Better, more resilient, fully furnished home to Miss Florence and her family. Let's try and support those who have no income or whose income was directly affected as a result of the hurricane. Let's help them first, and then everybody else will be assisted thereafter. No one will be left behind. The rebuilding process isn't going to end tomorrow. It's a process, it's going to take time, but it is sure that we are going to help everyone.
When I leave my sweet Karakou, I'll come back home. I know I'll come back home. I would never stay away. I would always come your way. It's one thing that I know, I'll come back home. I'll come back home. I'll come back home. When I leave my sweet Karakou, I'll come back home. Yes, I know I'll come back home. When I leave my sweet Karakou, I'll come back home. I know I'll come back home. For this is the place where I born. Ungrateful though I sound, but as long as I live on, I'll always come. I'll always come. I'll always come. For this is the place where I born.
Again, the people of Karakou and Petite Martinique, big up your whole self. The most progress that we have seen so far in Karakou and Petite Martinique is under the Honorable Tevin Andrews. Hurricane or not, before the hurricane, he was performing exceptionally well. After the hurricane, he continues to do the same thing. So again, there are a lot of Build Back Better houses that are under construction and will complete soon. They handed over 3, which is great. I love that. And they would continue to hand over the others. And the families, the recipients, they're happy. They're really happy with the quality of work done and the type of house delivered to them, given to them. All right? That's really good. Let us look at another positive piece here from the Ministry of Youth.
The Division of Youth in the Ministry of Youth and Sports has extended the deadline for submission of proposals from youth-led groups and organizations to access a $5,000 community support grant. The new deadline is the 27th February 2025. This is in an effort to give more groups the opportunity to present their projects for consideration for the grant program, which aims to support projects that address the needs of young people, promoting their personal and professional growth and development.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports is pleased to announce that the deadline for the Community Support Grant has been extended to February 27th, 2025. We have received several requests and proposals from youth-led organizations expressing the need for an additional time so they can finalize their projects. Our goal is to ensure that they have the opportunity to strengthen their implementation plan and revisit their proposal so that they can successfully execute when that time reaches.
That was Janella Edwards, Assistant Coordinator of Youth. The Division of Youth encourages youth-led groups and organizations that have not submitted their project proposals as yet to take advantage of the extension.
We encourage all youth-led organizations, if you have not submitted your application as yet, please do so and take full advantage of this additional time.
Proposals to be accepted must align with the 5 pillars set out by the Ministry of Youth and Sports for funding. They are community beautification and accessibility, human development and capacity building, health and wellness promotion, cultural preservation and celebration, and technological integration and innovation. Approved organizations must attend a mandatory project implementation training before the commencement of the project. The grant is available to only community-based youth-led organizations.
Right, so that's a very good initiative, and I want to encourage all community-based youth organizations, or youth-led organizations to take advantage of that. Folks, I want to lastly play a piece from St. Patrick.
The St. Patrick's Cricket Council has received a major financial boost to assist in successfully hosting training and competitions within the parish. Parliamentary Representative for St. Patrick East, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, in a move to revitalize cricket in the parish, handed over the check to the council's representative, Ricky Williams. This sponsorship marks a pivotal movement for local cricket, which has faced challenges in recent years due to financial constraints. For over 5 years, the council struggled to organize cricket competitions, leaving players and fans longing for the thrill of the game. It will provide the necessary funds to kickstart various cricket activities and leagues.
So, Mr. Rick Williams, President of the St. Patrick Cricket Association, I am pleased to present you with this check for the commencement of the cricket competition in the parish of St. Patrick. I know that you would cover St. Patrick in entirety as well as surrounding villages like Tivoli and other locations that are close to St. Patrick, east and west. And so we do hope that this check would basically be a very useful amount of money to help you kickstart the cricket competition in St. Patrick.
Ricky Williams expressed gratitude for the sponsorship. He said the sponsorship will bring the sport back to life and inspire a new generation of players.
Yes, so again, kudos to the Honorable Dennis Cornwall. You're doing a fantastic job there. Folks, I want to wish you all the best for the entire night. Take good care and I'll be back with you.